Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 8 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a new teaser that was recently released for the mid-season finale of Season 8, 808, which is going to be called How It's Gotta Be. So, The Walking Dead's Facebook page recently released this specific teaser, so we're actually going to go through it and break it down. Now, in terms of spoken words, there wasn't too much there, and the scenes themselves were basically little quick scenes. So to break it down, I'm basically going to go through these images, which are basically the still shots from the teaser itself. And some of these still shots actually do give us some hints about who might die in the mid-season finale, or at least which community this character belongs to in terms of the character that might die in the mid-season finale. First, we have the teaser starting with this shot of Carl. We know that this is inside Alexandria, it's at night, and this is most likely when Alexandria gets attacked by Negan. This might even be from the sneak peek when they just realize that Negan is outside. Negan is basically talking to them through the intercom, and they're basically listening to Negan. So this could very well be from the sneak peek. Then we have this shot of Maggie. Now this is very interesting. I'm not sure if this is inside Alexandria or Hilltop. We can't really tell. It's most likely inside Alexandria from the looks of the tall walls. But, she doesn't look happy. She definitely looks shocked and maybe even at the edge of bursting into tears. Then we have this shot of Ezekiel. Not really anything to say there, but, it's Ezekiel. He looks very angry. Maybe he is face to face with a savior or something like that. Then we have this shot of what seems to be all of the saviors, and this is most likely the road in front of Alexandria's gates. So we have all of the saviors basically at Alexandria's doorstep. I can't really tell who these saviors that are there might be. Negan is definitely there, but we can't really tell who else might be there. Then we have Michonne here, and in the dialogue that is in the background, she says, "They got out," referring to the saviors. Now this looks to be from the sneak peek as well. Maybe it's not, but it's difficult to say. She definitely looks sad. Maybe she's looking at someone getting killed or something like that. It could be, or it could just be from the sneak peek. I'm not really entirely sure about that. But this is definitely at night again, and this is in Alexandria before Negan and the saviors show up. Then we have this shot of Negan. We have the truck in the background. That's the main truck that the saviors use often when they come to the Alexandria safe zone. And this is again most likely straight from that moment when Negan is in front of Alexandria's gates. Now, we can't really say too much else about this. I don't recognize the savior that's driving the truck in the background either. He thinks, or he most likely does, have the upper hand on the Alexandrians at this point. He is basically showing up unexpectedly and they're not expecting him. So, he is in a good spot in terms of having the upper hand. Then we have this shot of a bunch of saviors firing what looks like grenades or something like that inside Alexandria's walls. We know this is inside Alexandria, or basically in front of the gates by the main house that's in the back. If you remember, there is a burned out house that's very close to Alexandria's walls, and that seems to be it. So they're basically firing off grenades into Alexandria's safe zone, trying to burn it down. And it seems like this is taken straight from the comics as well. Then we have this pretty cool shot. I really like this one. This one's pretty epic. Negan looking at what seems to be Alexandria burning to the ground. And, this is most likely straight from the comics. I'm actually going to say that. It's not a big spoiler, but Negan says, "Do you see the safe zone? It's burning down. There's no fire trucks, so we're winning," or something along those lines. So this is most likely taken straight from that scene from the comics. But I absolutely love this one. This is a pretty epic shot of Negan. It's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. But it definitely seems like Alexandria is getting attacked and it will be burned down to an extent. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, since they're showing this to us in the teaser, I don't think that this big moment they're talking about is Alexandria being bombed and being attacked. If it was, they wouldn't show it in the teasers. So that leads me to think that this big moment is not Alexandria being attacked. But just going back to this shot, I absolutely love this one. Now, from this shot here, it seems like Negan is at a good distance from the safe zone. So they basically moved back after they realized that there's no hope for Alexandria at this point. Then we have this shot of a truck slamming into some cars. Now, I'm not sure if these are saviors. It definitely could be, because these cars could be the cars that are in front of Alexandria's gates. So the saviors could be slamming into those cars, but it could also be, some other survivors as well. I'm not entirely sure about that. And this is a continuation of the same shot with the truck slamming into the cars. Then we have this shot of Rick. Now this is inside Alexandria. We know that from the support on the walls that we see in the background. And this is night. So it seems like Rick definitely makes it back in time when Alexandria is attacked. So it seems like he's not going to be missing too much in terms of Alexandria being attacked. Then we have this shot of Carl. This doesn't seem to be inside the Alexandria safe zone, because it seems like there's cars in the background. And I don't think that there would be cars in the woods like that at Alexandria safe zone. So I think this is most likely outside the safe zone. So Carl most likely made it outside of the safe zone somehow, most likely climbing the walls. Then we have this shot of Rick as well. Again, this is inside Alexandria, or he is basically approaching Alexandria. Then we have this pretty cool shot. Now this seems to be Rick as well, and he's being thrown out of the window. Definitely seems like the saviors may actually have gotten inside, and he might have been fighting those saviors. He might even be fighting Negan at this point. It's unlikely, but it's definitely interesting. Now this is cool because it looks exactly like the same shot that they had when we had Rick and Pete fighting at Alexandria, if you remember, back in season 5. So it's cool that they kind of replicated that scene here. So it's a great callback, if that's what they're going for. I definitely think it is. Then we have this shot of Daryl shooting his AK-47. Now this is outside the gates, it seems like, because he's in the woods. So maybe he makes it out as well, and he's basically trying to get at the saviors from outside, from the looks of it. Then we have this pretty gross looking walker here, and we have this shot here. This is definitely outside the gates, and as you can tell, there's fire inside Alexandria, so that's most likely caused by the bombs that the saviors threw in there. Now this doesn't look to be Negan. He has a bald head, whoever this is, so it's most likely just a random savior. But this definitely does kind of prove that Alexandria will be attacked and it will be bombed. Then we have this shot of Maggie. She's definitely crying. Now, this seems to be inside a car, so I'm not sure if this is after they go to Alexandria or before then, but it definitely seems like something has happened, maybe at Hilltop itself, we don't know, but Maggie definitely looks shaken up, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Then we have more shots of saviors shooting and bombing Alexandria. We have a shot of Eugene here. He doesn't look too good. Maybe he has to come in terms with what he did, helping the group, the saviors, attack Alexandria. And this definitely looks to be inside the sanctuary itself. So maybe Eugene didn't go with Negan and the others, and he is back at the sanctuary still. Then we have this shot of Carl, and we can see some fire and smoke in the back as well. So this is again inside Alexandria by the looks of it. Then we have this very interesting shot of Gavin. Now this looks to be inside the kingdom, and there's another shot that kind of proves that as well. But it seems like all of the saviors are not going to just attack Alexandria. It seems like a portion of the saviors are going to attack the kingdom as well at the same time. And they're going to do the same thing, bomb the place. They did that at Alexandria, and it seems like they're doing that at Kingdom as well. Now, what's interesting is that Gavin looks sad here. So what is he crying about? I'm not sure, but maybe he's looking at someone dead, maybe a savior, or it could be a survivor. We don't know. But it definitely does raise some flags in terms of who might die. Because, he is at the kingdom from the looks of it. He could be at Alexandria, but it looks like the kingdom to me. Then we have this shot of Alexandria, and there's one house that's basically blowing up. Now, what's interesting is that this looks like it might be Rick's house, so the saviors might have blown up Rick's house. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Then we have this shot of Ezekiel. Again, he looks confident and angry, and he's looking up, most likely at a savior. We have Michonne fighting a savior here. Then we have this very, very interesting shot here. We have this savior who we do recognize, I just don't know his name, but he was the same savior that beat up Aaron, and he has Jerry at gunpoint. And this looks to be inside Kingdom as well. So Jerry looks pretty beat up as well, and he's held at gunpoint. So is Jerry gonna die? I'm not sure. If he was going to die, will they show this in this teaser here? I don't think so. So he most likely will just be beat up. But it's an interesting shot. Then we have this shot of Maggie. She looks very pissed. She looks different than the other shot of Maggie we saw when she was crying. In this one, she looks super pissed, super confident. And if you kind of play the clip, you can see she's raising her arm. So it seems like she's going to basically either shoot or point the gun at a savior or somebody. Then we have this shot of Negan here. He's most likely outside the gates. There's saviors in the background. He doesn't look happy. It looks different than the other shot of Negan that we saw. He looked confident. In this one, he doesn't. So it's going to be interesting to see, what this is all about. We have this shot of Carol, and she's running, and it definitely seems like she just witnessed something traumatic. Maybe she just saw the place being bombed. And this is, like I said, at the kingdom. We know that from the building in the back. So it definitely seems like the saviors are not only going to attack Alexandria, but they're going to attack and bomb Kingdom as well. Then we have this shot of Dwight shooting. We don't know who he's shooting at. Then we have this very interesting shot of Gavin. And he is basically looking at a building being blown up. Now this looks like it's a house at the Kingdom. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I definitely think this is at the Kingdom. And Gavin seems to definitely be at the Kingdom when the saviors basically split up. So Gavin is going to be at the Kingdom, and he's going to basically be a part of them attacking the Kingdom, which makes sense because he's the one that dealt with the Kingdom. So it would make sense for him to be going to the Kingdom when they're attacking. But just referring back to the other shot of Gavin that we saw when he was basically sad and looking down, it seems like somebody at Kingdom might have died and he might have been sad about it. And maybe Jerry, I'm not sure. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of things here that point towards someone at Kingdom dying. But we got to wait and see, because if this was the case, they definitely didn't try to keep it a secret. And I think they should have done that, or they would have done that if they wanted to keep it a secret. So it definitely seems like this might be them misleading us. But it's going to be interesting. Maybe there might even be a scenario where Gavin is in both places. He might be at the Kingdom and then leave and go to Alexandria later on during the attack. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But that's basically all of the still shots of the teaser. Again, very interesting. Very excited for the mid-season finale. It definitely seems like shit is hitting the fans and the saviors are going to kick back and attack Kingdom and Alexandria. They may have even attacked Hilltop. We didn't see that in the teaser, but they may have even attacked Hilltop as well. Maybe that's why Maggie and the other Hilltoppers had to leave. Maybe that's what Maggie is crying about. Maybe something happened back there. We know Aaron and Enid were there, but they left. And it seems like from the sneak peek, they're going to Oceanside. So we might even see Oceanside in this episode. But it's going to be interesting to see what happened back at Hilltop, if anything. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.